Hello and thanks for watching. I'm Mark Eichenlob. This is Module 4 for AEP 855. So I wanted to go ahead and compare my school, Parker Junior High, to some of the Kansas state standards for education on a number of the different R's that come up in terms of evaluating schools. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first category was relationships. And again, my school is Parker Junior High. I'm in Flossmoor, Illinois. I'm going to go through some of the categories that my administrator and I were able to discuss. Didn't really have, a lot of input on all of them. We go kind of by a different system. So we're going to go about going through the areas where we did overlap. So communication with different district staff. We are currently at the implementation level. We're implementing, not fully there, working on a better system for consistently planning in advance how to communicate with and reach all of our district staff. Same for students. As of right now, it's just kind of random, kind of just as it comes. We send out communications, but long term, and we'll get into why later, a better system does need to come into place. Again, with families, he says we were implementing. I disagree. I think there's no evidence of communicating with families. In fact, as a teacher in the building, I'm regularly told that the communication is poor and non-existent from our administrators. Again, with communicating with the families, I was told that the district does monitor engagement and have resources for engagement. For collaborating among staff, I was told that we are in a transition period, so we're doing it and working on becoming a model. Having building mentors, we are implementing for the older teachers, so an informal system is in place. I'd say we're a model for the first 2 years. We do have a formal system in place for a mentorship program with scheduled regular meetings and all that, where feedback has to take place and it goes back to an administrator, so there is a system in place for that. Again, with relationships, transitioning and analyzing data, professional learning on families, we're implementing community partnership. I was told we were transitioning. I would agree. I've seen no evidence that we have any kind of partnership with anyone in the community, except for maybe the high school that we feed into. The next are relevance on curriculum, leadership, and education participation. We are probably at an implementation period for professional learning. I was told we are transitioning. Currently use some school data. Could say we're a learning community. Strategies. Transitioning as we use structures, processes to meet student needs. Again, with relevance, personalized learning, we do have a program in place for math and ELA where students are tested and retested a number of times. It kind of reassesses, puts new plans in place, new problems for them to solve at their own ability level. Same for individualized study. Kind of working on reviewing a plan. Teacher learning, we're in transition as we want the entire district to be digital learners. Strategic planning, we're in transition. For relevance, again, our content knowledge, we are transitioning. Teachers use knowledge to enhance learning. Student learning, develop an attribute. We're kind of using the college and career ready system, so Common Core. Technology, we're doing pretty well. We're modeling here. We teach and use data citizenship and responsibility. We've had iPads or Chromebooks for 7 or 8 years now, and we've learned a lot, come a long ways. Our responsive culture, modeling our district vision for planning, modeling student-first strategic plan, a learning community. We're modeling. We do have teachers regularly present. Every one of us has to meet for 12 hours and it's all documented, fill out paperwork and all that during one of our peers presenting on some kind of topic related to education. Advocate for education policy, transitioning, culture of collaboration, building district vision, so we're transitioning there. Modeling in data-driven decisions, sharing data in common language, and professional planning. All district is involved in professional learning, again with we call them FIUs at our school. And teacher leadership, we are implementing, kind of changed the way that we do that as administration has changed. Rigor, integration, so we're implementing and following Common Core standards. Partnerships, again, I see no evidence. Support and recognize, we are implementing. And then long-term planning, we're in a transition. Same with professional learning, and then instruction practices we are implementing. Communication, implementing. Responsibility for student learning, implementing. Establishment of common professional learning, that's our FIU that I had mentioned earlier. Increased student learning, we're at a transition period. Improvement as a school and a district transitioning, we do use some evaluation data. And then again, use of data, we are a model, we have regular data days, data meetings. And I can agree with our administration on this, that we are definitely using a lot of data at our school. Overall, I would rate our school, Parker Junior High, as a transitioning school. We have a lot of things in place. A lot of them we just started from scratch, started something new because we've had so much turnover with our administrators. Makes it really hard to get real familiar with the system, to get much progress when you're constantly having turnover in it as to how you do things. However, some of the models were carried over, particularly with technology and data usage, that we have become pretty strong with, and I'd say we're models with them. Leadership style, our assistant principal, Bruce, the rest of administration was not retained, and I wasn't really able to get a hold of him. Closest to the great man theory of leadership, he does not yell, he's a pretty quiet guy, leads by example, remains calm, always aiming to do kind of the long-term, plays the long game, trying to do the right thing. Even situations that are pretty emotional and tense, we have a pretty high pressure district, and he managed to keep his calm. So leads by example, I appreciate that. Two areas that him and I could agree that we could target for improvement as a district. Supporting teachers, some kind of mentorship for after years 1 and 2. Also, I would recommend a full-time position for communicating with parents in the community. There's a huge gap there, and it's not something that can just be a little bit of everybody's responsibility. There needs to be a full-time point man person on that, and I think that would help a lot. Someone preferably with a public relations type background or communications, because we've got a lot of explaining to do. The community's not real happy where I'm at. The PSEL citations, it was kind of interesting. They were all right there at the beginning. 1A, 1B, 1C. Develop an educational mission for the school. I think we really lined up with that. Just communicating better with our community. 1B, in collaboration with members of the school and the community, using relevant data, develop and promote a vision for the school, and on the successful learning and development of each child, and on instructional and organizational practices that promote such success. I think we really touched on that. And then articulate, advocate, and cultivate core values that define the school's culture. We've not done this, and it's something we need to sit down and do and explain it to our community. High expectations, we do have that in place. Student support, equity, inclusiveness, still working on that. We do a lot of social justice at our school. We actually do these peace circles, and so I think we really touched upon that one. And then openness, caring, and trust, and continuous improvement. We're definitely always looking to improve. Again, overall, we're transitioning, and I think as we get a little bit more stable with our administration and their goals and their plans they have in place, that we can become a model school. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate everything I'm learning in this class, and looking forward to watching your guys' videos as well. Thanks.